And welcome back to Movie Nerds. My name is Tom. Today, on this episode of Movie Nerds, we are going to be reviewing The Last of Us, episode 5. Is it the best episode so far? I don't know. We'll find out. Welcome back, Dave. He's live from the hospital, apparently.
Live from the hospital.
As you can tell, there's a different setting that he usually has it on.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to tell us why either, but how long have you been there?
Well, my wife's been here since around 12:30. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
12:30. So she's been here all day. I've been trying to figure out what to do with the kids. So I was running them from neighbors and friends to my parents' house.
So the kids are all sporadic everywhere?
Or? They were this afternoon, but they're at my parents' house now. So my wife is having a procedure in the morning. She's overnight for observation. We caught something kind of early, so that's good. It's her gallbladder, so she's gonna have her gallbladder removed in the morning.
Okay, so, is the nurse in there right now?
The nurse is in here checking on her, just doing her routine.
The nurse is live, folks. Let's hear what they have to say right now.
Ready?
Just kidding. She's just getting checked up on.
Okay, so let's folks. So if you hear noises in the background, it's okay. He's just checking. No worries. And so, before we start on episode 5, I proposed a question. Is this the best episode so far for The Last of Us? But tomorrow is the big day, the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Apparently, everybody has the Eagles winning this game. I'm really shocked, but I'm not surprised. Shocked, but not surprised. I don't know if that goes together. That's like oxymoron. But the Eagles does have a better team overall. They are a better team. But we have better players, if that makes sense. But I have picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. It's going to be 30. What did I put? 34-27. That is my score. So by tomorrow, hopefully they'll win. I was actually contemplating if I even want to watch the Super Bowl, just because I feel like they're going to lose if I watch them. So maybe I just turn it off and not watch and see what the final score is. But anyways, that is my prediction. I wanted to put it out there so people are like, oh, Tom, you didn't make that score. I put it on Facebook. Now I put it on my podcast and my channel. So there you go.
It's official.
It's official. Let's get to it. The Last of Us, there were a couple, let's just say this. 80%, maybe 85%, maybe even 90% was actually right out of the video games. Of course,
really?
couple with the dialogues are different. The dialogue will always be different, but there are certain things like, for instance, in episode 4, there's that scene where in the car and with the magazine, that dialogue was actually pretty on point with the game. And so I've been actually playing the game, and I've been playing him as I come up to where the episode ends. And so, but right off the bat, right now we're back with Ellie. The last episode, Joe had a gun in his face by Sam, and they woke up, and now this episode, episode 5, starts right with the beginning of the revolution in Kansas City. This is when the rebels, or I don't know, it's just like almost Star Wars. The rebels took over the Empire's territory in that sense, and so they won, and it was right off the bat. The beginning was pretty brutal. You get them torturing the federal, whatever the people, what do they call those? Fedra. They were hanging them, doing all, it was brutality upon those people that were doing the job. They were supposed to, but people when you get angry, when you have enough people with the right person as a leader and to rally the troop they usually don't listen. They just hear
Yeah.
anger. They just hear things to make himself mad, and they overthrow Kansas City. And we find out why Kathleen wants Henry and Sam now, or more so Henry. And it's because he was an informer, or what was the word that he used?
He said he was a collaborator.
Collaborator, aka a rat. He was a rat, but now they gave you a backstory of why he did it, and it's legit. Love makes you do things. Love makes you do crazy things. Love
So
makes you.
Are they brothers?
They are brothers, yes, in the game as well. And so,
Okay.
once again, we'll go over the game at the end of this episode. By the way, folks, if you have not seen the episode, please stop this video right
Pause
now.
and go watch it. Yeah.
This is spoiler review. We are going to be spoiling this and so we get the background of what's going on, and then you see the perspective of what's going on. It was only been 10 days, 11 days total.
11 days
from episode 4 to now till they get out of there. And so
so
go ahead.
The beginning of the episode, they showed what Henry and Sam did for those 11 days.
Yeah.
Right. Well, day 1 to day 10. But from episode 4 to 5 for Ellie and why do I keep forgetting his name? Joel. Ellie and Joel, it's really just been that day
a day and a half so far. Yeah, a day and a half to 2. And so you see the perspective of Henry and Sam seeing they've been hiding for 10 days, and they're running out of food, and you see the doctor who got blasted,
the one
in
that
the head.
Kathleen shot. Yeah.
And Kathleen, played by, I don't know what's her name. She's so good. She's not your typical bad guy or so-called bad leader.
She's not someone that would be typecast in this role.
And so you look at, but she's very, very eerie, very the way her interactions calm. She's very methodical.
Got like a motherly type of voice.
Yeah.
Yet when she says things, she's not one that's going to take anything.
Yeah, and people listen to her, and they believe in her, and so we get the perspective of Henry seeing Joe and Ellie coming into the thing, and I have to say, I was, like I love that aspect of seeing the same thing from a different perspective. I love that type of camera work and the style, because I wonder if they did that all in one take. I doubt it, but the mannerism that Joe and Ellie had, you can see that was pretty similar to what episode 4 was. And so
you're talking about when they crashed the truck.
Yeah, when they crashed the truck, and so so they came up on Ellie and Joe with the gun, basically with the unloaded gun. So they're not really killers. So these guys aren't like the type of that go shooting everybody around, but they will do it if it has to be done. And so, and you see that at the end of the episode. Man, that was brutal.
That was
So they came together, and they're gonna decide, hey, let's work together. I know a way, and they actually go underground, which they did in the game. Now, the timeline of that is switched from the game.
Okay.
They don't go underground in the game. They don't go underground. Well, actually, I'll save it for the end. We don't want to. So they got there. They got in there. I thought this entire time there's that tension that they do well in this show where they went in there, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna be a bunch of clickers.
Yeah, there's gonna be infected there.
But none.
There wasn't any.
And I love it because it keeps you on your toe, and you're like, oh, this is gonna happen. This is why
it's different than other like
the Walking Dead.
Yeah. You're like, oh, there's definitely gonna be something there, and there is. But this one, they got you thinking. But
so what's
sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, okay. Nurses are talking.
Nurses talking.
They were talking to me.
So then you get they got out of there, and then they get this encounter with the sniper, which was actually, I'll tell you what happened in the game, but the way they did it,
with the sniper,
the sniper, when they were,
yeah. Toward the end.
Yeah, but what they did in the show actually makes it even better, in my opinion, than what the game was. And so, so they, they finally got, and then you got one of the first bloodbath
Yeah.
weapon. When that car went down, I looked at my wife
Yeah.
and she saw the big one, the swirl come out. She's like, "What is that?" I was like, "That's the
Is
next
that from
level."
the game?
That's from the game.
Because I guess I kind of had an issue with that.
Okay, what's your issue with that?
So the whole idea is this fungus.
Mm-hmm.
The whole purpose that it has is to spread.
Uh-huh.
And this big infected comes out and immediately like starts killing, ripping heads off potential hosts.
Yep.
So that changed the motivation of this fungus a little bit. And I don't know if that's kind of what I had an issue with.
Okay. I guess I can see that. It's out of character of what they set up. I get
Right.
what you mean. But remember, these are though they don't explain it. Maybe they will go back to it and explain it how that came about. Because even in the game, it doesn't really explain it that well, to be
Okay.
honest. And so, but it's in the game, it actually throws those spores, like
Oh, it
the
throws
airborne.
spores.
Yeah, but they
Okay.
don't do it in this game because they set it up in a different way than what the game
Yeah.
is, and so
Yeah, totally different way.
and then okay, I can see that.
So
I can see that.
I'm like, that's not that doesn't fit what the motivation or
uh,
the purpose this fungus has. So yeah, maybe
so
they'll explain it. We'll see.
let me okay. Well, while you're on that, what was something that you liked about this episode? We'll go towards the ending. I want to save it at the end because the ending is that's hard. It was hard to watch that,
It was really hard.
even though I knew it was coming. And they folks, I played the game, and it still shocked. It still made me so sad. It was just so heartbroken. We'll talk about it as we go. What was something that you like about this episode, Dave?
I loved Sam. The kid's portrayal, the character, I loved that character. Which is what made the ending of this episode so difficult, I think. I loved the relationship between Henry and Sam, how they portrayed that, how Henry kind of uses the present situation to dictate how he interacts with Joel, and mostly with Joel, not so much with Ellie. But I liked that. It showed just another element, kind of what we've been talking about through this whole series, is that these people are going to do what they're going to do to survive. But it also added that element of protecting someone you love. And that's kind of a theme that's been the past 3 episodes.
Yep.
So I like that theme, how they're carrying it over into different characters and different relationships.
I love the fact that Sam needs Henry. It's a mirror image of what Joel and Ellie is.
Yes.
Because Ellie does need Joel. And watching, if you play the game, Joel in the game is a little bit more not uptight. Like
more serious?
No. The more like he's more receptive to Ellie in the game. Like if Ellie asks a question, he's willing to here he's more like uptight.
Played by you asked too many questions. You asked a lot of questions.
Well, Joel in the game says that too, but the tone that he says it in the game is different than the tone that Pedro Pascal. More playful, more not annoyed, but more like patient. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you can tell the interaction in the game is a little bit more friendlier than what it is in the show. But I like what they're doing in the show because, excuse me, Ellie in the game and in the show are different.
They're different,
completely different. And but
you said that, you mentioned that before too.
But it's okay. It works in this world, and so I loved the fact that they made him sign a what's the ASL or
American Sign Language.
Yeah, ASL.
Yeah.
And so it's
cool.
They
made that character. Is that character not deaf in the game?
No.
Okay, so that's something they changed.
That's the only thing that they changed. The timeline of what happened, they changed that as well, and of course, the battle and the bad guy or the antagonist is changed, and so that's why I said
yeah, Kathleen's
yeah, and
not in the
that's why
game.
I
Yeah.
said this was like 80% just right out of the game. Okay,
Okay.
I love this episode. I do have one gripe, and my wife's gonna roll her eyes when she hears it, is that I feel like the antagonist, Kathleen and her group, I was just kind of like, dare I say, useless?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it didn't,
That was another issue I had with this
like
episode
I
too.
get they set it up this group and like you would think this group would go forward, later on the line, but I get the way the writer ended that way is because they're not lead by a good leader because she was just out for
Yeah, she
revenge.
was. Yep.
She was not out. She doesn't care about anybody in that group. She just wanted Henry. She wants to
Yeah.
kill him. So
Yeah, she wasn't wasting any resources on anything other than revenge on Henry.
Yeah.
That is
So
all she wanted.
and that's why I think. Look, I think that the actress did a great job. I love the portrayal of Kathleen because I think it's one of those things you're like, you don't. She does not fit the type to be a mercenary leader.
Definitely
But
not.
but
Yeah.
but it worked. But the one thing that I have gripe with it is she's one dimension. It's revenge
Yeah.
that entire time. Is because there was one scene that I was powerful, and I thought that they would have
In the bedroom.
in the bedroom with that guy, because she talked about her brother saying, "Hey, forgive." So when I heard that word, I'm like, "Oh man, what if they turn her like she realizes she needs to forget?" But no, she was so hung up on that revengefulness that she just doesn't want to listen to even her own brother saying, "Forgive and forget." I mean, so that's the only gripe I have about the episode. Everything else was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, when that truck fall down, and I'm like, in my head,
Here comes the horde.
well, in my head, I was like, just stay quiet.
Yeah.
Just don't do anything. Just don't move,
Yeah.
lay down, and just stay there. Because if they don't hear
But they
you,
already made too much noise, though, didn't they?
they
That's why
did.
they came
I
up out of
know.
the ground.
That's why they came on the ground
So,
because of the shooting. And then, man, my favorite shot, Joel was up there just sniping down, protecting Ellie, and Ellie just going. This girl got no fear. And he's like just trying to help people.
yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
she's
As soon as she got out of that truck, she was eyes up scanning for Henry
Yep.
and Sam.
And then when she scanned for Henry and Sam and they were being attacked, I wanted to look at my wife. I was like, Sam's gonna get bit.
Yeah. You
And
called it, huh?
he did. And so because I knew what was gonna happen, I knew exactly what it was gonna how it's gonna go down.
I didn't know until
I
they
know.
revealed it.
I
and
know.
and I liked that it was a surprise for me.
Yeah.
It was heart-wrenching and
Oh my
heartbreaking,
gosh.
but I did like that they made it kind of a surprise.
So I thought in my head, what if they switch this up and have Henry get infected and Sam stay alive, and Sam had to come with them? Now it's a trio, but they can't do that because this series is about Joel and Ellie's relationship.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so they can't have a third wheel. It won't work. And I think people would get so mad over that. And so we come to towards the end, and that conversation, sometimes I love one of my favorite movie, by the way, James, if you listen to this, you did get it wrong last year. You didn't pick Coda to win Best Picture. I did. And Coda was an awesome film, and it had less dialogue because it was about deaf people.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I love the fact that the conversation between Ellie and Sam
Oh,
is
yeah.
it's such a childlike conversation.
Yeah. It's
sim-
innocent. It's learning. It's loving. Yeah.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. It was innocent. He was asking legit question, and to say, and are you scared to your time? And the fact that Ellie dropped her guard and said, "I'm scared all the time." I was so beautifully done. And then when he says, "Do you think you're the same personality that I was like, "Oh, here comes it," and shows it. And it's like, what I do like is she tries to heal him with her blood, but it doesn't work that way.
It's a good attempt.
Yeah. And then you have the scene, he gets out, attack Ellie, and Joel was ready to get, but Henry, man.
Oh
That is
yeah, because that was Joel's gun he grabbed too.
yeah, God,
Man, that was so hard to watch.
that was so hard to watch. He had to shoot his own brother, and then he realized what he'd done,
Man,
and he took
as
his
soon
own
as he
life.
started like saying that, I was like, he's gonna shoot himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which is why Joel reacted the way he did, because he knew.
Mhm.
I'm sure he's seen that character has seen that in this world.
Yeah.
People doing those
So.
things and then taking their own lives. Man, yeah, that was.
Oh,
But like, it made sense for the
yes,
character. It
but
sucked
it
to
does.
watch.
And
But
this is gonna change Ellie, because in the game it changes her character a little bit. She's more reluctant. Up at this point, I think sometimes I think she feels invincible because she knows she has
Mhm.
Joe, and she knows she can't get
and
infected.
she knows she can't get infected.
and
Yeah.
so you get this
But
little
now she's built this relationship with somebody who ends up getting
yeah
infected.
infected,
And
and
it's yeah.
she can help save him. That is the key.
Yeah.
I think that's in her head, because she's like, what, I'm not infected, but how am I going to help people if I can't get infected, if I can't even help Sam? So
Yeah.
these thoughts going to go ahead. Now,
Okay.
next episode coming up, we're going to get to meet Tommy, and you're going to see some. I don't know how this character is going to come about, but there's another character that comes in that's pretty brutal, pretty gnarly, and pretty nasty towards human. And
The Negan character.
this guy put Negan to shame, because this guy,
Really?
yeah, this group is disgusting. The way what they did in the game, I don't know how they're gonna how they're gonna draw that out in the TV show. And so, anything else that you found interesting in this episode that you thought was that worth mentioning?
Yeah. So Kathleen had Henry cornered, and she had her chance. There was plenty of time. Like, you saw how quick she was to pull the trigger on the doctor.
But why didn't she pull the
Why
trigger
didn't she
on
pull
Henry?
that quick on Henry? She had her chance.
Do
She
you
didn't take
think?
it.
Do you think when she had that gun and Henry like not fighting her, do you think she kind of think like, I would probably do the same thing as he did? Because she said
If she did think it, what did she say?
she said she knows why he did it, and she didn't care. But at that point, he came out. She should have just blasted him. Why wait? So maybe in her mind, she's thinking like, maybe I would have done the same thing as he did. Because he said something that, when remember, he said he's just an effing kid.
He's just a kid, yeah.
And it's like, well, and then she said something that was brutal. What if he was meant to die? Well,
Oh yeah.
was that
Yeah.
true? I don't know. That sparks conversation.
And then you
was
bring
like,
that back to the end of the episode.
yeah,
He was meant to die,
and he ended up
just
dying
not the
anyway.
way that they had thought. Yeah, that was so that I thought was interesting. And if that was the thoughts that the character had, they didn't portray it very well.
Yeah,
I just thought, there's your chance. This is what you want. It's your number one priority, like she said.
and
But
she didn't do it. So maybe
So,
she had second thoughts on it, and
maybe.
so. But
So that was interesting.
I love this episode. I don't know if it's the best one. I proposed that question in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still love episode 4,
Okay.
but I also love
The
episode.
previous episode was good.
I don't know if it's better than the third episode.
Yeah, episode 3 is still bottom of the barrel for me. This was
Yeah.
definitely better than that one. So this is probably number 2, 3.
Yeah, I think
If
this
I
is
were to
better.
rank
Yeah, next week should be fun, and
Yeah?
we should get into a lot of good stuff next week.
So they're bringing Tommy. That'd be
Yep. Tommy in the game
okay.
doesn't do much, but he plays a very important role because he does something for Joel that helps him. Well, I don't want to give it away. You'll watch it.
Okay.
Watch it.
All right.
But
I just thought of one thing I did like.
Okay.
This whole series is 20 years after the outbreak, and they've done a great job with the set to make it look 20 years. That bedroom, it looked like it just sat for 20 years.
20 years. Yeah, I agree. So I don't know where they're gonna go from here. They're going to Wyoming, but in the game they go to Colorado.
Oh, okay.
So they will meet. They will go see find Tommy in Colorado, and in the game they go to University of Colorado. I don't know if it's Colorado State or just Colorado, but and man, the design, the way they did in that game, it looks pretty cool. So I don't know where they're going. I mean, I guess they could go to University of Wyoming, but
Yeah.
eventually they in the game
They
they
end
go
up
to
in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, and in the game Salt Lake City has the temple in
The
it.
temple. Is it
Yeah,
all like decrepit and everything?
it,
Looks like
it
it's been.
it looks, you can tell it's the temple. It's pretty cool, and the scene in the game when the temple shows up, it's actually a beautiful scene. Ellie in the game, Ellie sees the elephant for the or elephant a giraffe for the first time, and it's like you see the background of the temple and the city, and the giraffe is just they're playing with the giraffe, and so it's pretty cool in the game, and
Oh, interesting.
so I don't know
Okay.
where they're going. So, um, right out of the bat, this game, the only difference is, of course, the antagonist, Kathleen is her
Mhm.
group. The timeline of them going under the ground is different than in the game. They actually got out of the city first, and they got
Oh, and
out
then
of
they went
they
underground.
got yeah. Then they go underground, and then they just see all that. But underground in the game, the people they were living underneath there, but they left the door open, and so one of the infected got in there, and then everybody got
Oh,
infected. And so in the game, you play series of things, and you fight in the infected down there. That's the difference in the game. And what happened is they're trying to get to the radio tower in the game, and they finally get there. But and so they come upon the sniper. Well, that happens after they went in under the tunnel in the game, and the sniper was just a nope, was just another a bandit that was there. But what happened is Joel was actually in the TV show. Kathleen and her group comes rushing in. In the game,
yeah.
in the game, it's just the clickers. It's just infected rushing towards
Oh,
Ellie and Sam, and then you do play as Joel capping, shooting, sniping the
okay.
infected, and so in the game, they all sleep. Joe, Ellie, and Henry sleeps in a different room, and Sam was in the other room, and everybody woke up and they said, "Oh, Sam's not awake yet," and so no, I let him sleep in. She goes and open the door, and that's when he jumps at him, and
Hmm.
it exactly like in the game. Henry shots him, and then Henry shoots himself in the game, and that's how they ended. In the game as well. So there was a lot of shifting timeline wise from the game,
Okay.
but see, this is my thing. I like the fact that the sniper that was shooting down on him was part of Kathleen's
Yeah.
group because it makes
Yeah.
sense. It
It
makes
does
sense
make
to him to be
sense.
there and to keep it home. And he was an old guy in the game. It was a couple young dude who was shooting, but so it made more sense the way they shifted the timeline or the scene
Okay. Yeah.
in the show rather than what happened in the game. And so, but yeah, because in the game they all got out first. They got out of the city, and then they went underneath the underground, and then they get the snipers. So yeah, the game, I think narratively they couldn't do exactly how. I mean, like I said, we talked about it. They cannot
Yeah. They
do
can't do it
exactly,
shot for shot.
but most of those elements are part of the game. The hand, the
Man.
sniper, the walking and doing all that. So it's all part of the game, and so it's an incredible show, man. I love the
Yeah. They're
show.
doing a good job.
And I was now my wife after it was over, she goes, "Man, now we have to wait till next Sunday to watch the next
Oh
episode."
yeah, because Sunday is the Super Bowl, so they're gonna push it till the following Sunday.
Yeah,
We got 3 more
yeah,
episodes.
I believe three more. I How many episode total?
Did you say 8
Is it
or is
eight?
it 6?
Let's see. Last of Us, how many episode? 9.
9, so
So we
four
have
more episodes.
four more episodes, which is interesting because yeah. So in the game, like it's so it's like I want to tell everybody, but I can't tell all what happened in the game and so. But anyways, Anything else you want? Anything else about episode 5? I thought it was really good.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I mean, you know, I can't
Yeah, that
complain, man.
was. I don't know that one. This one hit me. The end hit me more emotionally than any of the previous ones. Even episode 1 when Sarah dies.
Yeah.
That was pretty emotional. But this one hit me more. I think right at the end.
See, I think the difference, like people that haven't played the game, some people say, "Oh, this show is boring." Like my father-in-law. I know what the heck's wrong with him. Come on, Darren.
Come on, Darren. I don't know you, but you're wrong.
Like, so I can't. He said I tried and I couldn't do it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But and then there's a lot of people who are complaining too. People who play the game that
They want it shot for shot.
shot. But I think you can't do. Okay, I think people have this. There's a study. I don't know what one of the college did, and it's like there's a special nerve or something in our brain that when we partake of something for the first time, we want that, and it was a great experience.
We want it the exact same
we
way.
want the
every
exact
time.
way.
Yeah.
We want the way people don't realize is like when you're playing the game, you're investing the emotion of that character as you control them. So you're getting that your brainwave is getting that link between you and this character. Like, oh, this is so awesome. And then when they see it in the show, they can't connect with it because they're not playing that character like they did for the first time. And so I think people have an issue. People for some reason don't like what's her name playing Ellie, Ramsey girl. She's incredible, man. She's so good in this one.
Yeah.
And yet people are so gung-ho on their first experience with Ellie from the game that they can't compute it must not compute.
It's like it's like reading a book before seeing the movie, or vice versa.
And vice versa. I read one of my favorite book of all time is called The Kite Runner. You haven't read it, or if you haven't read this book, I recommend. I read this book 3 times. It was that good, and they made a movie out of it, and the movie was okay, but the book experience, and I had an issue with certain things they put in the movie, but I get why they can't put everything in the movie because it would be like 5-hour, 6-hour long movie, and so I get it, and so. Sometimes I know I've experienced The Last of Us for the first time, but I love the fact how this character is being drawn out, and so people get over it. Just get over it.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
However, I'm partaking of it for the first time.
So so
I wonder how it would be if I play the video game after watching the series.
Well, you'd be like me because when I knew that Sam was gonna die. I knew Henry and Sam was going to die. I was wondering how they were going to do it. If it's going to be the exact same way, they're going to alter certain things, or they're going to have it. So they altered a little bit because you don't have that. One of the things I love what they did, like we talked about, like the emotional conversation between Sam and Ellie. Mm-hmm. That's not in the game, and you can't connect with that emotionally because in the game you just kind of whatever. These are just character, but you get to know Sam and who he is, and and they made him deaf. That was a brilliant move on their part. Like, let's add this element to it, that because of that reason, now Henry is really reliable, or Sam is really reliable on Henry for that reason, because and so great changes in my opinion. And so, anything else?
No, I can't think of anything else.
All right, folks. It's a great show. I don't know if it's the best. We'll have to see. We have 4 more episodes to go. I can't wait for next Sunday. But before that, let us know down below. Comment, like, subscribe. But most of all, I want to know if you think this episode was the best episode of the week. Let us know. Comment down below. Until next time.